Oh, welcome back to the channel, people. So today we are at the lovely Holcroft Fishery on Croft Pool. A few that have never been, as you come into the complex, there's a big nature reserve on your left, and then this is the sort of first lake as you're coming down that road behind me. Why are we here? Well, I did a cheap pole challenge the other day, loads on you, loved it. So today I've returned, but I've come to this venue in particular because when I was younger there was some tackle available on market, and for the love of God, when you purchased it you went out fishing with your plan to catch some big massive fish on it, and you never got the chance. And for you keen-eyed viewers that might have already seen it, I have brought an absolute gem from the world of what was once the Argos catalogue, and it is right here behind me. Here we have a 7-foot kingfisher quiver rod with the Ace reel. Now the Ace reel is brand new, straight out the box. I managed to get some new old stock, and the rod is just a little tiny 7-foot quiver rod. And yeah, I've put some fresh £6 line on it, because the £10 line that comes on these reels were just brittle, it was just snapping off. So I've put some fresh £6 line on. All the eyes seeming good nick on it, handles all in one piece. It's a tiny little rod. If you look at it in comparison to sort of my hands, it's a tiny little thing. So I thought best thing to do is to get up Holcroft and do something that I always dreamt to do when I was younger. Getting my little kingfisher rod and going out and catching some massive carp on it. As far as cheap rod challenge goes, this is a cheap rod. So I think back in the day this was £19.99, and what did I pay for it? Well, that's where I paid for it, because this, believe it or not, is my kingfisher rod from all those years ago. And it's done well for kids. They've had some massive fish on it. George, he's had some £15 carp on it out of our till. So today I've come onto Croft Pool. I'm going to chuck a method on it and have a whack for some of these carp. Now, here at Holcroft Fishery, it is fishery pellets only. So I've got myself a bag of pellets out at tackle shop, and in a second I'm just going to talk you through mixing them up and preparing them for a band. We're going to be using a Preston XR banjo feeder this morning. Washing up liquid. So let's get some pellets mixed up and start today's cheap rod challenge. So, mixing pellets, it could not be easier, unless you find it hard. So, I've got an EVA tub full of water. Here's my pellets. I'm going to get a pair of scissors, get a trimming corner. I don't plan on taking any of these back with me today, and believe it or not, although it doesn't look like there's much there, once they mix with water and they've soaked up, there's loads. So what you want to do is get a Preston pellet wetter soaker. Yeah, that'll probably do. So just over half a bag. Then all those pellets, I'm just going to dunk them straight in the water like that. Let them take on some water. And then idea is just to leave them to soak just for about 30 seconds. 6 degrees here today at Holcroft Fishery, so I ain't got to worry about hot weather drying them out or anything like that. It's just a matter of getting them wet, getting them in there and letting them take on some water. In fact, it's actually given us some really nice weather for today, the next couple of days, so hopefully we'll get a nice couple of clips for you today with some decent weather. So after about 30 seconds has passed, you want to take your strainer out like that, and if you've got a side tray like mine with loads of rolls in it, you can just whack it on the side like that, and then pour all your excess water away. And your pellets, even though they're straining, you can just sort of leave them like this in your strainer for a bit for excess water to drop out. As you can see, there's water still dripping out of there. On a really hot day, you'd probably just bang them straight into a bait tub and let the water keep soaking in. We'll just get some of that excess water off, and then just want to bang them straight into that same bait tub, and there you have it. Micro pellets. In about half an hour's time they'll be ready to press onto an XR banjo and cast out. But first I'm going to get some Revolution Baits Rainbow Crunch, absolutely fresh out the tackle shed, and just give this a light sprinkling like that. Not too much, but I want to do it now while there's a bit of moisture still in these pellets, and I just get a little bit of fleck of colour. So I don't know if any of you can see that, we just got some different colours in there, some greens, yellows and reds. And that Rainbow Crunch, it's a great additive for putting into your fishery pellets, just to try and get them that little bit of a boost. Then your pellets are going to display loads different to everybody else's on Complex if they're not using that same method. So that's your Rainbow Crunch in. Don't bang loads in either, it's best to put a bit in, and then if you feel like later on you've not got enough in, then you can just add some more. And then they just go on your side tray out the way. Now I have got some Revolution Baits Brazil Yellow Enhancer dye. Don't go anywhere without it, absolutely amazing stuff. Spray some of this onto a feeder on a tough day and it's going round. So if you've not got yourself some of that, get onto the website, get yourself some of that ordered. Then what I've got here is some fishery 6mm pellets, just hard pellets. I'm going to be banding those onto a short hook length on my method feeder. So they're just going to sit on my side tray next to my micros, and that is as basic as it gets. That's all I'm doing today, just trying to keep it nice and simple for you. What I'll do next is I'll talk you through my feeder setup, hook length, hook choice, all that, and then be about ready to catch some fishes, won't we? Right, so let me run you through some tackle. So got my rod, £6 main line, and then what I've actually got on there, look, is some £9 shock leader, some reflow power. Bit extreme for on here, but I'm going to be fishing up against a lot of snags. Last thing I want is for any fish to be taking me in there and snapping me off at my weakest point. So shock leader, and that'll also play in hand when I've got my fish under tip close in and I'm netting them, like, because this little tiny rod's not built for it. And then we've got what you know as a Preston Innovations Banjo XR feeder, but this is the popular modified version. So it's got the little tiny cutout there, look, just there, and that is for the float stop on that hook length to sit into, and you all know that as the BMFF SS feeder. So I'm going to be using that. Very popular once upon a time when I was testing to see what the map embed feeders would be like. Caught a ton of fish on it, especially up here at Allcroft. Then what I've got a Preston MCMB size 14 hook, just with a band on, and I've got some with spikes as well, so at any point I can just chop and change, and it's free running as well. That little bead just sits in the end of that stem nicely. I want to have enough tension on rod for the fish to hook themselves. Normally, where it allows, I'll put a little float stop just up here, just to act as like a bit of a self-hooking mechanism, but I don't think we're going to have any problems today here at Allcroft. That's pretty much my setup. Now, on this reel, there is no line clip, so it's just guesswork. So I'm just going to fire it out there and just guesswork it and see what happens. I'm going to try and get the camera where it'll see possibly all three shots. Me playing fish, me casting, and then where it's actually casting to. But really straightforward, we'll see what happens. A 500-pound carp has just topped 6 yards away from my side tray, so that's lovely. Yeah, well, let's just catch some fish, shall we, and get on with it. I've actually got you on crotch camera now, just so I can show you how to load up the BMFF SS feeder. There's the little cutout, look, and there's the float stop, just about ½ inch away from my hook. The good thing about that is I can manoeuvre that wherever I want to adjust how much loose hook length I want inside the actual feeder. First of all, I want to get yourself a nice juicy pellet. grab your band and just pull it around your pellet like that, like so. If you've got a bander, it's a bit easier on a cold day, or if you struggle with arthritis or out, definitely do that. Then you just want to put a little tiny bit of feed in there like that, just to act as a base, and I like to do that. It stops the hook from hooking the bottom of the feeder as well. Then what you want to do is get your float stop, push it into the groove of the BMF FSS feeder, like so. And then what you've got is your feeder, and you've got this little tiny length here, and then when your fish picks it up, it'll hook itself there, pull the float stop out of the feeder, and then bang, straight in. So that float stop presses nicely just into that groove that you make in the feeder, and then your hook bait just sits inside there like that. It also means that when the feeder hits the bottom and it starts coming out and all the feed starts taking on water and mushrooming over, your hook bait will stay within that pile as well. Then what you want to do is just whack on another layer of pellets like so. There we go, just like that. Then you want to get your Brazim yellow enhancer dye, get a few squirts, and she's ready to fire out. So, without further ado, let's have a chuck with it. Right, so, like I say, no line clip, just going to go for it. I'm actually going to chuck it over to my right hand side, so I've got loads of rushes to my right. Just going to chuck it into open water like that, down on my rest. There's no wind, so I ain't got to worry too much about sinking my line as such, but I'm going to anyway, just for good measure. And loosen that clutch, because it sounds awful. These little Ace reels, I'm sure they were $5.99 or $6.99 in Argos, something like that. So today's going to be a right mission. Oh my god, I've got 500 miles of rod sticking out of water. There we go. Can't really make it much higher, but right, that's him. Stopwatch. Start it now. Now it's in and settled. And yeah, see how long it takes for the first one. So it's all raw as well. I'm not one of these, I don't come and have 3 hours fishing, catch loads of fish and then start the camera and say, welcome back folks, today we're going to try and catch £50 of carp, when I've already done £100 before the camera started. So yeah, just makes it a little bit more exciting, doesn't it? I think I'm ready for another brew, people. Oh. So you can get a famous cup of tea bite. Been a few times when I've poured a cup of tea and rods have gone screaming off, like at Southfield and here as well. Oh, small indication, but not a fish on. Oh yeah, it always tastes good out of a flask, doesn't it? We're 4 minutes into that cast. It's only early yet. It's not like we need to bag up straight away. It's a really cold morning. Another 10 minutes has gone, so I want to pull in on that one. Try a different location. So get some pellets. A few in there. Put my float stop into my BMF FSS of a feeder. A few more on top. Not going to cram it down, but where to now? Straight out in front again. Yeah, quite happy with that. Loosen my drag off, start my stopwatch. There's no wind, so my line's sinking by itself. Put that down there a bit tighter. Lovely. Oh, a bit of a twig coming over my line. Oh, there we go. Fish on. 2 minutes 20 that one. So we're in. Don't think it's a massive fish, but 2 minutes 20, and we've got one on the kingfisher rod and the ace reel. That's what we're after. Not after massive fish anyway, but when I was a kid and we used to go to Argos to pick up tackle, you know what I mean, this stuff back then were like the best we could get. Incredible gear for money, and there were even cheaper versions as well. They were like telescopic rods, and you know, we all used to have one of them each. But this is it, the 7-foot kingfisher feeder rod, the quiver, on the BMFF SS feeder. Fishery pellets, Brazil yellow and answer dye. Now that's for an unbranded wafter on this time. I don't know what brand they are. But as you can see, drag's doing its job. It's not the softest of drags, so I'm not going to go mad with it. £6 main line to a £9 leader, I think I said. Is it like 0.23 or something? Tiny little rod, but for little canals and stuff, and snake lakes on commercials, I dare say it's perfect. But just wanted to get it out and show you guys today just what a cheap rod can do for you in today's current angling climate. Oh, a bit of a snag out there then. That clutch is either too tight or too loose in the space of a 1mm adjustment. There's my shock leader. My shock leader knot. And when I get that onto reel, then it's power time. It's coming in lovely. Say carp fishing don't have to be complicated, especially this time of year. You just need to sort of scale down on your bait more than anything. No shock leader knot yet. Where are we? Oh, there it is, coming through eyes. So my fish will be here in a second. Again, just keeping note of my drag. When you start bringing them into shallow water, that's when they want to run off. God, this reel. Like I say, back in the day it would have been amazing, but oh, this fish is having a right good old steer up. It's a lovely mirror. Get my landing net ready. And again, 7-foot look. I can just play it right under the rod tip. And this is what we all used to dream on when we were kids, going to Argos, going as tackle, coming out and catching some massive mirror carps. Again, I'm not trying to bully it in because light gear, and these fish can be really powerful under rod tip as well, so I'm not going mad with it. It's a lovely fish, probably about £4. In fact no, it's just a bit bigger than £4. Hopefully it'll stay still for a catch shot for you all. Oh wow. When it dives down, it's really going its nose into the lake bed. Come on, you. This clutch. See, it's not a loosen or tighten, it's an on or off clutch. Oh, lovely fish. Not ready, quite ready yet though. And here he is. Let's see if we can have you now. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Right, let's get a bit of line off here. See if he'll behave for you a lot. What's that? Oh. Right, so hooked, nailed it bottom lip. I would never lose in that fish. Absolutely nailed it bottom lip. So let's get you out of the way. Hook you in there, and then if I can try and turn him round and show you guys what we've got. Look at that. Stunning little mirror carp on the 7-foot kingfisher Argos feeder rod. So when you get him back, get straight back in for another one. Beautiful fish. And that we're on a pink wafter. I don't know what brand they are, just a bunch of them that I've got. Some fish magnet juice. And then let's fire it back out. Oh, turn my clutch back on again. Let's fire it back out there. So stop, reset, start, because it's now fishing. Loosen my drag. That's it. Sit you in there so you don't go away. Right, let's catch you some more. Right, 13 minutes. Coming back in. Whoa, have to be quick with that one. Three minutes that, front peg next to me. God, this drag is like on or off. They're all welcome. On the cheap rod, the Kingfisher 7-foot quiver and the ace reel. It's probably a 2,500 size. It's only a tiny thing. I'm hoping all these swans are going to move out my way when I bring this fish in. Next time, let's get him up. Come on, you. Hey, in he's in. Oh. Absolutely kicking crap out of me now. Absolutely nailed. Bottom lip every time. Put you on there. Now I don't think he's going to behave for camera, but I'll do my best. No. He's wanting to. One more time, what do you reckon? About £6 on the cheap rod challenge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick him straight back in because he is the most unsociable fish that I've ever had. So I'm going to get straight back out there for another one, because there is definitely some more to be had. Right, so that was just down to my right hand side, that, so let's get cheap rod cast back out. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm going to leave it there for a bit, see what happens. Right, let's loosen that drag right off. Right, start my stopwatch, see if we can get another one. Might have to have a ponder around, but a couple of fish for you on cheap rod challenge. Oh, there we go. Another one straight away. Don't go in there. Please don't go in there. Don't go in there. Oh, that feels a bit tight. Oh. That was a bit unlucky, wasn't it? Oh my god, I've got loads of line back. Oh, that couldn't have gone any better, to be fair. Oh, right. Let's get rigged back up again and get her out. I mean, in an ideal situation, you'd have 2 or 3 more rods, but I've not brought any of my other rods with me, and I just kind of want to focus on this one. Otherwise it's not a cheap rod challenge, is it? It's a cheap rod challenge with a bunch of expensive rods. Scissor wise. Snip. Right. Peoples and peoples. Another BMF FSS feeder. I'm not joking either. I've got loads of them. Another BMF SSS. Hook length. Right, micros, hook bait, Razzium enhancer, back over there. Let's get it straight back out. There's fish everywhere now. Kind of don't want that to happen again, but just need to be on the ball when it goes around this time. Let's just see what happens, people, eh? It's only fishing, innit? Right, stopwatch started. I think it come with a reel. It might have come with a reel, but I don't know if it was that one or not. It was like a really rubbish plastic black coloured reel. And the Ace one, there were 2 options. You could buy the Kingfisher reel, which were like a bigger version, probably like a 4,500 size reel, rear drag, or that one. And I think the Kingfisher one were like $14.99 or a tenner, and then that one were, I'm sure it was $5.99 or $6.99 or something. And to be fair, they used to come with some £3 Kingfisher line. I never used to put it on. I used to whack £8 line and everything. Oh, and we're in, and it's gone straight out into open water. For now it has anyway. Come on, there you go. Lovely. 3 minutes bang on. The cheap rod challenge, people. You're seeing it here first. Well, second. I did one the other day with a pole. Oh. Beautiful. It's that time of day now, isn't it? It's going a bit overcast. It's getting late in the afternoon. Don't go down that way. No. There we go. It's getting a bit later on in the afternoon. And they're whacking up. Lovely. Tell you what, it's not a strenuous job with this rod either. Thought it was going to be an absolute nightmare, but it's holding its own. Like I say, this has had some really big fish on it before, but a lot of people have had these rods and never really done much fishing with them like this, you know. 7-foot little coarse feeder rod, which is probably designed for chucking little maggot feeders out. it's not really a rod that you'd think of if you were coming to Allcroft to start bagging up on big carp. So that's why I've done it purposely, just to show you that if you've got one of these old rods knocking about its shed and you want to get yourself out fishing and you just don't think you can serve its purpose and do it justice, you can. Get yourself out, up to Allcroft, Sunday ticket, bring your little rod and your little reel and come and bag up on some of these carp. Don't think this is a massive fish compared to the last one, but the other one felt a pound and then it come up to be about 6. Oh, it's alright. A little mirror again, I think. I thought my feeder were flying back into my face and it were a huge dragonfly. Where are we? Oh no, he's a little common, a little babby common. There we go. Look at that. Easy, innit? There we go. For a jangle. I'll sort it out after. Alright, weird smell come over. Oh, hooks come out in net. So, there you have it. A little tiny babby common carp, look. One cheap rod challenge. So let's get him straight back in. I've now hooked my net. They don't count. There we go. You can go in there, pal. Don't go back over there. And if you do, don't eat out. Oh, an horrible smell's just come from somewhere. What is that? There we go. Tangle out. So, micros in. Float stop into the BM FF SS groove like that. So that's my self-hooking device done. Then more micros on top. Keep having a check everywhere. Brazilian yellow enhancer. Incredible stuff that. Oh, it's fixed that bad smell anyway. What is that smell? Right. Oh, same spot. Same spot. Rod down. Lucent drag, not too much. Start me clock. Light my hands, tighten up. Oh, easy people, innit? Look at weather now, look. Absolutely nailed. Oh. Right, feed in. Float stop in. Hook bait on top of pellets. Another layer on. Brazilian yellow enhancer eye. Get back out there. See, because these are like short fish, like it's not taking me long to get them, it's good because it's slowly putting a bunch of feed out there for me as well, so I eat moaning. Right, start the clock. Go another one. Oh, right, there we have it. Well, another successful day's fishing at least anyway. What we had, 4 carp in a few hours. I had a break halfway through that as well to have a chat with someone for about an hour and a half. But ultimately, we've got out on bank, we've had a day's fishing, and we've enjoyed it. And the cheap rod challenge was successful. Now, I don't know if any of you out there have got any kingfisher rods or reels, if you've got a kingfisher 7-foot quiver like this one, but if you have got any tackle out there that was once the lower budget side of the angling world, please don't disregard it as being no good, because this thing, if conditions were better and I had a better peg and I had even more excuses, be able to sit here and bag up on this little rod and reel all day long. And it is the little tiny Ace reel and the Kingfisher rod from the Argos catalogue all those years ago. This is my rod. I've had to buy the reel because I never kept a reel like this in my entire life when I had him as a kid. But the rod is mine. It's gone through my life with me. I've had massive fish on it. And kids in my life now, they've had some huge fish on it as well. So a really, really productive little rod. 7 foot, ideal for little commercial work, snake lakes, and even little light feeder work with ground bait feeders and maggot feeders as well. So absolutely awesome bit of kit. And nice to have it on today's cheap rod challenge, well, cheap rod and reel challenge. So remember, if you've got some pre-loved tackle in shed, or you've got some gear and it's not quite up to standard, or you're worried that if you go and get on peg next to Mr. £5,500 pole, you can still have a very good day's fishing on a budget. And we're just a bag of fishery micros, a bottle of Brazil Yellow Enhancer, and a couple of different upbaits, including some of these wafters. You can still have a blinding day's fishing. So if you've liked this video, give it a share, give it a like, hit the like button. If you've got any suggestions for venues or cheap tackle challenges, let me know in comments. Like, it'd be nice to read a few comments and have a chat with someone. You quite enjoy doing that. And if you've not already and you enjoy this sort of stuff, remember to subscribe as well. That way, when I chuck another one of these cheap rod challenges out there, or a cheap pole challenge or cheap reel challenge, you'll know about it straight away. So from me, the little Kingfisher quiver, 7 foot, and the Ace reel here at Holcroft Fishery and Holiday Park on Croft Lake. We will see you on the next one.